Question 3. Ming owned a car detailing business called Ming's Car Detailing. Funnily enough, one day Sanjay drove his BMW M3 to Ming's Car Detailing and inquired about a car detailing service. Ming informed Sanjay that a full service would cost $350, and when Sanjay agreed, Ming gave Sanjay a written contract to sign. Okay, so it looks like, let me make some notes, it looks like we've got a written contract. Okay. The written contract contained the following clause. Ming's Car Detailing does not accept any responsibility for the loss or damage to any vehicle, howsoever such loss or damage may arise or be caused. Okay, so that's a specific kind of clause. Hopefully, you'll remember that that is actually a form of disclaimer. Okay, so I know that it's something about a disclaimer, it looks like. Sanjay reads the contract and signs it. So we have a signed written contract. During the car detailing, Pedro, Ming's employee, took Sanjay's car for a drive. This was against company policy, but Pedro had never driven a BMW M3, and Pedro thought he would not be found out. During the drive, Pedro hit a curb and damaged the left wheel. When Sanjay saw the damaged wheel, he threatened to sue Ming. Okay, so it does look like a disclaimer, but he signed something that says Ming's won't be responsible. Okay, so it is about this applicability of a disclaimer. That's what I'm interested in. Apply the principle from Sydney Corporation and West to determine whether or not Ming will be successful in relaying the disclaimer. So I've got some core information here. Because I know that it's already a written signed contract, it's not going to be lecture 8, I don't think. It's also unlikely to be about enforceability. Again, I'm understanding what's in these topics. This is helping me make the decision. So it's not week 8. It's not going to be enforceability. It's something about this term, and I know that we had a section on disclaimers. So if I go to that section, which I know is in week 8, right? We knew that we have terms and other statements, and we have disclaimers, right? Disclaimers, okay. And so I need to check this section around disclaimers. Okay, so here we are. Disclaimers. To be valid, a disclaimer must be incorporated into the contract. If it's signed and written, the parole evidence rule is going to apply Lestrange and Grocob. That means that in our case, we have a signed written contract, so I know that the disclaimer is incorporated into the contract. Okay. However, it's got to be wide enough to cover the breach. So the disclaimer must cover the kind of breach. And here I'm given this case, Sydney Corporation and West, in the actual question. Okay. The four corners rule. Okay, so a breach will only be disclaimed where it falls within the ambit of the normal operation of the contract. What does that mean? It means the disclaimer will only apply if the usual way that the contract would operate is how the breach actually occurred, which is where the damage actually occurs. What's really important in this case is that Ming's employee took the car for a drive. When you get your car detailed, it's not normal for someone to take your car for a drive, right? So it's not in the normal operation. Or the four corners. Okay. So because it's not in the normal operation, the disclaimer won't apply. Okay. Now, notice I've done all this in notes. I actually haven't written an answer yet. Now I'm going to write my answer. Okay. What's the issue? The issue is whether does the disclaimer apply to the damage to Sanjay's car? If the disclaimer applies, he can't sue, right? That's why that's the issue. The law here is Sydney Corporation and West. And I'm actually going to write out this principle so it's very clear that I know what it is. The Four Corners rule states that disclaimers will only apply in the normal operation of a contract. Okay. This is part 1 rule of many. Well, actually, I don't need that bit, so I won't confuse everyone. Let's just say it's 1 rule of many about disclaimers being read narrowly. But that's the rule we're asked to apply. Application. So now let me apply this. I'll just move this up a bit. Application. In this case, Sanjay's car is driven away from the detailing store. Okay. This is not normal for a detailing contract / service, and so the damage occurs outside the normal operation of the contract or outside its four corners. Conclusion: in this case, the disclaimer will not cover the damage, and Sanjay can sue Ming. So Ming will not be able to rely on the disclaimer. Notice I went back, and as I was doing that, I read what the question asked: can Ming rely on it? So I'm pretty specific there in giving my answer to that question.